Over the past few months, I've been building a collection of movement and interaction systems inspired by different games, mount mechanics, dodge systems, gliders, launchers, basically anything that looked interesting to recreate. This is how it all came together. I started with a pit mount inspired by Sakiri from Everness to Everness. The idea was simple: summon a creature, ride it around, maybe how it interact with objects. The first version was rough. The player would snap onto the pit like they were glued to it, and it felt terrible to control. I modeled a basic pit in Blender, nothing fancy, just something functional. Then I went back and fixed the mounting logic. I did smooth camera transitions using timelines, put in a summon cooldown so you couldn't spam it, made the pit able to pull and destroy objects in the world. The whole thing is built with blueprint components and interfaces, so it's plug and play. I left a lot of comments in the code because I know I'd forgot how it worked later. Next was the dodge system, based on Yixuan from Zenith Zone 0. Two modes, tap to dash, hold to float. I extended it to work mid-air too. You could dash, jump, then hold to glide smoothly. The logic was mostly animation based, very little blueprint work, which kept it clean. The main problem was the animations. They took forever to get right, and honestly, they still aren't perfect, but the logic itself worked on the first try, which was satisfying. Then I added a glider, standard stuff, deploy it, float down, then control how you land. But I wanted wind currents that will push you forward and give you speed boosts. That part took a while to figure out. The physics needed to feel right, not just functional. I added particles, trails, made the camera zoom slightly when you hit a current, sound effects. The launcher was straightforward. You walk up to it, interact, and it fires you to a predetermined target point. I wrote logic to auto-calculate the launch curve based on distance. This is the only system where I couldn't figure out a clean solution on my own. So I went to the Unreal Engine forums and borrowed someone's math. I did a glowing indicators to show when you are going to be launched, made the speed and the animation timing adjustable. It works reliably now. The time manipulation zone slows everything down when you enter it. The player can either move freely or be slowed depending on how you configure it. I added camera zoom, sound effects, and visual effects. There were weird side effects at first. Movement values would stack incorrectly, debugging that was annoying, but it ended up being the easiest system to implement once I understood the issue. After the mount version, I built a second pit mode, a companion that follows you and attack enemies. If you run too far ahead, it automatically ignores the enemy it attacks and follows you. It has a lifetime timer, so it despawns after a set duration. I gave it attack, visual effects, sound effects, and the ability to despawn. This one took longer than expected. The AI in Unreal Engine is something I still struggle with. Getting the pit to path correctly, engage targets, and return once you get far from it required a lot of trial and error. At some point, I realized I needed a proper state machine. Too many mechanics were starting to conflict. You try to dodge while mounted, or glide while in or glide while or glide while in a time zone and things will break. I built a manager with functions like request state change, can transition to, and set state. It's not complicated, but it keeps everything organized. Now each system checks if it's allowed to activate before doing anything. And I implemented this using data tables. This data table contains the current state and which states it can transition to, which actually was super simple to set up. This probably should have been one of the first things I made. The last phase was polish. I went through every system and added the small things that make them feel finished. Footsteps with sound notifiers, trails on the dodge, particles for the wind currents, attack effects for the companion, spawn effects, flow dodge got its own visual effects and sound design. And to be honest, sound design took me a lot of time to get right, because this is my first time making sound effects. The final project has Sakiri pit mount that spots and destroys nearby objects, each one dodge system with dash and float, glider with wind currents, launcher with auto-calculated trajectory, time slow zone with configurable effects, companion pit with combat AI, a state manager that keeps everything working together, polished visual effects, sound effects, particles, and camera work. I'm releasing this for free. It's not a commercial product, it's just a collection of systems I wanted to figure out. If you are working on something similar, maybe I'll save you some time. That's it. Have a great day and thanks for watching.